Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're jumping into a really interesting financial turnaround. Bilibili's Q2 2025 earnings. This big Chinese video platform, well, they just dropped some pretty surprising news. And we're here to basically distill what went down and, what it means going forward.
Exactly. For anyone maybe less familiar, Bilibili is a huge video community, really influential with younger people in China. So, our mission today: unpack the key insights from their Q2 earnings report and, really importantly, what management's saying about the future. We're pulling from Zacks Equity Research, Bilibili's own financials, getting you the full picture.
Yeah, the goal for you listening in is to walk away with a quick but solid grasp of how Bilibili's doing, what's next, and why it actually matters, without getting lost in, all the spreadsheets. It's about the story behind the numbers. Okay, so let's just cut straight to the chase. The big headline: Bilibili absolutely smashed Q2 expectations, both earnings and revenue. This wasn't just edging past estimates. It felt like a real shift.
It really was a standout quarter. I mean, total net revenues, they hit $1.02 billion. That's a solid 20% jump year over year, which, yeah, that itself slightly beat the Zacks consensus.
Yeah.
But the really dramatic part, the core of this turnaround story, is the profit. They reported an adjusted net profit of $78.4 million. That's a huge swing from the adjusted net loss they had same time last year. It's massive. It shows it's not just about getting bigger anymore. It's about proving the model works profitably.
And here's where it gets really interesting, right? Especially for a platform we associate with heavy spending on growth. Their adjusted earnings per ADS, that's the American Depository Share, how many Chinese firms trade in the U.S. VAR, it came in at 19 cents, or 0.18 cents diluted, way above consensus estimates, somewhere as low as 0.18 cents, maybe 0.17 cents. And like you said, not a one-off, this isn't a fluke. Bilibili's beaten EPS estimates 3 of the last 4 quarters. Revenue, all 4.
Consistency.
Exactly. It shows a pattern. Look at the stock performance, up nearly 40% year to date. The S&P 500 only gained about 8.7%. So definitely a strong trajectory, not just one good quarter. That pivot to profit is the real story here, definitely. But, for a platform like Bilibili, famous for its content, its community, turning a profit can be tricky. It's a balancing act. So how did they do it? How'd they flip from red to black so decisively? What levers did they actually pull to get that healthy margin without sort of alienating their core users?
That's the crucial question because, that improved profitability is the headline. Okay, so their gross profit, it jumped 46% year over year, $373.5 million. But the key metric here, the really telling one, is the gross profit margin. It climbed significantly, 36.5%, up from just under 30%, 29.9% in Q2 last year.
Wow, that's a big jump in margin.
It really is. It's not just tweaking things. It suggests a fundamental shift, like Bilibili is maturing, moving from just chasing growth to efficiently monetizing that huge user base they've built, proving they can be both a vibrant community and a profitable business. And this improvement came mainly from, strong revenue growth combined with keeping operating costs relatively stable, basically getting better at making money from the platform.
Okay, so it wasn't just revenue up, it was also cost control, smart spending. What about those overall operational expenses? Did they really tighten the belt, or was revenue just growing fast enough to cover costs?
That's exactly. Total operating expenses were remarkably stable compared to last year. If you break it down, sales and marketing up just 1%, general and admin up 4%, and interestingly, R&D expenses actually decreased by 3%.
R&D down, that's interesting.
Yeah, it shows discipline. This disciplined spending plus the strong revenue, that's what fueled the profit. And their financial health looks good elsewhere too. Cash flow, for instance, net cash from operating activities surged to $277.7 million. That's a really strong sign they can generate cash from the core business. Vital for the long term.
Right. It sounds like they're definitely optimizing things, getting more efficient. But, efficiency alone doesn't keep a content platform growing, does it? Needs fuel. So what specific areas, which parts of that Bilibili ecosystem are really driving this growth and bringing people in?
Great question. Looking at the revenue breakdown by segment really paints the picture, shows their strengths. Mobile games was a huge one, surged 60% year over year, $225.1 million. A big piece of that was their exclusively licensed game, Sanguo Wuding Tianjia. Shows the power of having that exclusive content.
60% in games is massive.
It is. And beyond games, advertising also did well, up 20% year over year, hitting $341.9 million. Mostly driven by performance-based ads, where advertisers pay for clicks or actions. Very efficient for them.
Makes sense.
Then you have value-added services, VAS. That climbed 11% to $396.0 million. That's things like live broadcasting, other paid services. Shows the community is willing to pay for premium stuff. That one segment, IP derivatives and others, actually saw a decrease, down 15% to $61.4 million. But the overall picture, it's diversified revenue. The strong parts are more than making up for any dips. Supports that overall growth.
Okay, so the money side looks good, diversified. But let's talk users. It's fascinating how Bilibili just keeps growing its base. Engagement is really the name of the game for platforms like this, right? So how engaged are people? Does that match the financial strength?
Absolutely critical for Bilibili. And yes, the engagement numbers are exceptionally strong. Daily active users, DAUs, grew 7% year over year. 109.4 million people every day.
109 million daily. Wow.
And monthly active users, MAUs, rose 8% to 365.2 million. Importantly, the number of people actually paying it each month, the MPUs, up 10% to 31.8 million. But it's not just how many, it's how long they stick around. Average daily time spent hit 105 minutes in the first half of this year.
105 minutes? That's an hour and 45 minutes a day.
Exactly, up 6 minutes from last year. It's not just casual scrolling, it's a huge chunk of their day. Really cements Bilibili as the online hangout for young people in China. These numbers, they just underscore that influence, the vibrancy of the community that their CEO, Rui Chen, talks about. That deep engagement, that's the foundation for everything else. Growth, monetization, all of it.
Okay, so strong quarter, clear profit drivers, users are super engaged, makes sense. What's the takeaway for the future then? What's management saying? Their strategy, what to expect. This is that forward guidance piece, right? Shapes how investors see them, gives us the roadmap.
Yeah, and Chairman and CEO Rui Chen was pretty clear. He really focused on, one, user growth, and two, deepening that engagement. Emphasized delivering, and this is his phrase, premium content experiences that resonate with young audiences. That's key for keeping those 105 minutes.
Premium content, right.
Yep. And he also talked about the goal of, quote, continuing to unlock the full commercial potential of our vibrant ecosystem. So it's that balancing act again. Nurture the community, but also make money from it effectively. Then the CFO, Sam Fan, he backed that up on the finance side, said, going forward, we will focus on maintaining efficient, sustainable, and profitable operations that create value for all of our stakeholders. Efficient, sustainable, profitable.
Right.
Which does raise that interesting question, doesn't it? How do you balance investing in that premium content, which costs money, with this focus on efficiency and profit?
Yeah, it's the tightrope walk.
Exactly. But Q2 suggests they might be finding that balance.
Yeah.
And looking outside, Zacks Consensus Estimates for next quarter. About $1.7 billion revenue for the full year, 0.7 calculated EPS on $4.2 billion revenue. Plus, the broader industry outlook, broadcast radio and TV, it's in the top half of Zacks Industries. So sort of a favorable environment for them too.
They've definitely shown they can deliver strong quarters and keep users hooked. But zooming out a bit, beyond just Q2, how are they setting themselves up financially for the long haul? Is this sustainable? Are they building, a solid financial base?
Good question. Because long-term health needs that strong foundation. And yeah, their balance sheet looks robust. As of June 30th, they were sitting on $3.11 billion in cash and equivalents.
$3 billion in cash. That's a serious cushion.
It's a huge war chest. Gives them incredible flexibility for investing, handling downturns, whatever comes. And they're using capital smartly. Look at that $690 million convertible senior notes offering back in May.
Right, convertible senior notes. Can you just quickly break that down? It sounds a bit like Wall Street jargon.
Sure. Basically, think of it like a special kind of loan to the company. The investors lend Bilibili money now, often at a lower interest rate than a standard loan. And then down the road, under certain conditions, those notes can be converted into Bilibili stock shares.
Ah, okay, so debt that can become equity.
Exactly. It lets them raise cash now, aligns investors with long-term growth, and they earmark the money specifically for enhancing content, improving monetization, and funding share buybacks. And speaking of buybacks, they've been active there too. They've already repurchased $116.4 million worth of shares under their current $200 million program. Still have about $83.6 million left on that as of June 30th. That sends a strong signal, right? It shows they believe their stock is valuable and they're committed to returning value to shareholders. Confidence in their own plan.
Okay, so let's wrap this up. Key takeaways for you listening. Bilibili had a seriously strong Q2. Big turnaround from loss to a healthy profit. Driven by growth, especially in games and ads, and really impressive user engagement. People are spending almost 2 hours a day there. And their strategy moving forward seems clear. Keep investing in premium content for young users, but do it efficiently, sustainably, profitably. They're trying to show you can have it all.
Yeah, and if you connect this to the bigger picture, Bilibili's journey really shows how dynamic these digital platforms are, especially in a market like China. Their success in turning that deep user loyalty into actual profit while keeping the community vibe strong. That's got lessons for others. It definitely raises the question, what can other platforms, streamers, social media, gaming firms learn from Bilibili's approach?
Yeah.
That balance between user experience, content quality, and making money, especially as they try to operate globally.
And maybe a final thought for you to chew on. As our own digital habits keep changing, how might Bilibili's strategy that focus on premium content resonating with younger users shape online video and social media outside of China? What kind of content trends does this point towards? And how might other platforms adapt to capture that same magic mix of engagement and profitability? Something to watch.